Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Wave X's video and a unit review for Rhus and Neilikka, or a Fist Lady. So even though he's wielding two weapons as a TDH unit, and the reason for he's wielding two weapons is because one of his cooldowns provides his LB and other things becoming a tag chain. So I guess that kind of makes sense for whatever that may be. Anyways, both sides have in his base 450% killers for those there and 200% killers for those listed there. Decent amount of killers. Machine and aquatic probably not as relevant, but it's okay. 150% low burst damage, 500% cap in both sides. And like I mentioned before, not really going to be mentioning TDH and all that stuff anymore because it's the same thing. It's pretty much always the same thing, and that even that is pretty much the same thing there. That 150% low burst damage, 500% cap, whatever. So the cooldown can turn the LB into a tag chain, like I mentioned. And 40 times mod boost on the cooldown, 50 times mod boost on the base LB there. And the LB is a 25% sword in peril, pretty good. We finally some more sword in peril. 150% machine killer buff, 130% water in peril, and also a 200 times water physical damage. In the brave shift form, a 200 times, basically 2 hits, but they're backloaded, I believe. Water physical damage, 70 times more for machine enemy. And remember, you're getting a 90 times mod boost in total for this LB as well, so it's okay, I suppose. But yeah, he relies on a lot of mod boost to become really a lot stronger, and he's kind of, I don't know, is it slow? Maybe it might be a little slow. You basically, if you do it as quickly as possible, you're only doing it the max damage on turn 3, so you need to be pretty fast if you want to deal good damage. And he's basically locked to water, either equipping his TMR or using his LBs because they're all water damage. So locked to water. He's really nothing that special, other than the tag chaining thing that you can unlock with the cooldown. I don't really know. Like, he does good damage. It's just not that. It's just nothing that interesting or special. I'm gonna go 8. 8 out of 10. He will do good damage, but it's just nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video. I'm not going to be reviewing Noreen because she really isn't anything good. She would be getting a very low score, so I'm not even going to bother. They barely did anything with Noreen, which kind of surprised me because I thought that at least they would give her something good. They barely did anything, and it was just embarrassing. I'm not even going to look at it. Not even gonna bother reviewing it, guys, because she would get an extremely low score. So if you're wondering where Noreen's gonna be, she's not in this review. She is laughably bad, probably one of the worst Neovision Awakenings in the game of recent times. So this lady, I've been waiting for her for a very long time. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything to pull with, so I guess I'll just try to do dailies to get her, and maybe I can get lucky. But unlike Rhus, her STMR actually gives her a 700 times mod boost for a cooldown that she has, which we'll be talking about shortly. So I would say her STMR is very much needed for her kit. So EX1 might not be useful enough. Anyways, both sides 700 times one hit lightning damage cooldown, which we just talked about, which gets mod buffed by the STMR and another cooldown. So 2,100 times total. Very good, I would say. And the same thing with the Rhus, so she has 150% of these killers in the base form and 200% killers in the brave shift form. And the base form is 25% fist and peril in the LB, 130% lightning peril, 100 times lightning damage with ignore defense, and I maybe it's 50% defense ignore, and also 90 times mod boost for her LB versus certain types. I don't know what that means, but I guess certain races. I mean, it wasn't specified, so But Even so, if it's 50% defense ignore, that's insane because that's 380 times mod, right? I think so. Or hold on. Well, it's 380 times versus certain enemies. It's only 200 times normally, but if you're facing a certain enemy, I suppose you're getting 380 times mod, which is insane. That's the highest element burst damage mod in the game, but it's limited to certain types, and I can't tell you what those are, sadly. I don't know what that is. And in the Brave Shift form, she really has nothing special other than the LB, which is kind of a yikes. I mean, if you're facing a machine and a stone enemy at the same time, if you're facing a dual race, I guess it's okay. But other than that, it literally does nothing against... It literally will do no damage against anything else. That's pretty crazy, actually. I've never seen an LB that will do 0 damage against non-stone or machine enemies. So her base form, I think her Brave Shift form is just not as good as her base form because of the cooldown thing. And well, she can do that in her Brave Shift form, but she doesn't have infinite turns. So I think the Brave Shift form is just not as interesting as the base form, which is really interesting because that usually is not the case. Usually the base form is much weaker but still decent enough, and then the Brave Shift form is really powerful, but it seems like that's the reverse here. Because the LB in her base form potentially could be super powerful and insane. Plus the 2,100 times mod. So pretty strong there. Pretty strong. I'm gonna go ahead and give her a 9 out of 10. It's not 9.5 because her Brave Shift form kind of drags it down a little bit. That Brave Shift LB, I don't know when you would ever be facing a machine and stone enemy besides maybe like Clash of Wills. For Dark Visions, she'll be decent. She can do the huge modifier, or she can do her LB. For Clash of Wills, maybe. The Brave Shift like I mentioned, the Brave Shift LB might actually be useful again in Clash of Wills because there probably will be a stone and machine enemy eventually, if there hasn't already. If there has already, oh well. But if there isn't yet, I mean that could be a potential. There's a lot of combinations in Clash of Wills that could be happening. So 9 out of 10 for the lady I've been looking forward to. Unfortunately, I'll just have to try to do dailies. It is what it is. Thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button or just click the like button. Appreciate you. And let me know what you think. I know you guys might be disappointed that I'm not reviewing Noreen. I just think that she's just embarrassingly bad, and I don't want to embarrass her at all. So just keeping her out of it. You can look. You can look at the wiki page, and you'll probably agree with me. They did nothing in her base form. Basically, they didn't give her anything useful. And in the Brave Shift form was just a mess. That's a mess. So, anyways, appreciate you. See you in the next video. Peace.